Okay. All right, we are back. We are back, and you were just talking about what to look for in private as a private equity investor. You're talking about bringing us here to Salt Lake City, and then walking through the type of questions you could ask. And then, Steve, life happened. It went down for a moment, and now folks are joining back on, and that's what happens. By the way, sometimes life just shows up. Please continue on.
Well, so you always do thorough due diligence. You worked hard for your money. You always work hard to preserve your money. I strive to follow two very important rules. Rule number one is that I don't lose your hard-earned money. Rule number two, I never violate rule number one and never lose your hard-earned money. So as a steward of my private equity partners' money, I work hardest on the preservation side. But just know that you always want to do thorough due diligence, because preservation is always the first goal of your capital.
Wow, preservation is always the first goal of your capital. Steve, thanks so much for sharing. For those folks that are tuning in and just listening, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk about financially fit. One of the reasons that Steve has been able to do what he does is that he's able to get his message out. He's able to share and talk in forums like this. And I admire you for doing that, Steve, because some people, if there wasn't 10,000 people in the room, they're not have part of these conversations. But what I like most about you is it's all about the message.
It's a lot of fun. If it's an audience of 1 or 10,000, if I have the time, I'll be there. I often speak for free because I'm very passionate about giving hope to others when it comes to becoming financially fit for life and creating wealth, which is really synonymous, and which brings up the discussion of financially fit. Our listeners right now can go to financiallyfit.com and join our free community. We actually just went live, I believe it was 2 days ago, and so I would like to invite and encourage our participants to go to financiallyfit.com and to join our free Financially Fit community.
Which is a good transition, because we want to get to. First, we talked about Even Stevens. You can go to financiallyfit.com. Here's one of the benefits. One of the benefits of being in a conversation like this is that you get an opportunity to hear how important a person's message is. You get to hear how important a person's story is, the company's story. And many of you that are watching, that are listening out there right now, if you're getting yourself together, there's a couple things. Number one is you have a story. Number two, you have an expertise, like Stephen has an expertise. You have a message, just like Even Stephen, just like private equity, or just like cost capitalism. And this is one of the benefits, even part of Speaker Nation, when we all come together. Now, many of you are invited from the Speaker Nation because this is type of experts. This is type of what we do. Speaking is important, but being financially fit as a speaker is important. Being able to have your business in place as a business is important as well. One thing you can do, and I'm going to invite you all to do, is you're listening, you're like, you know what, Shay, he's right. We're going to get into financially fit. It's something that I need to do for my business and for my personal life. I'm going to encourage you to do two things. Speaker Nation, this is the type of content that we provide. It's impromptu. You can go over to speakernation.com. Just go over to speakernation.com, follow all the instructions, and then you can get all the information. Why is that important? If they're listening, Steve, because right now you're thinking to yourself, okay, I got to be financially fit. Okay, I got to understand cost capitalism. Okay, I got to create wealth, because wealth is not going to be earned. And you've got a voice, you've got a message, you've got a story, and you want to impact other lives. Eat to give is a way not only to impact the person they're feeding, but to serve other people. And if that's you, just go to speakernation.com. We're putting together a community of folks to collaborate, to be able to get the message out to more people faster with less effort. But we want to make sure, as a speaker, that you are financially fit in your business and financially fit in your life. We're going to talk about that, Steve. And that's the transition. But go over to speakernation.com. Be a part of these type of conversations, and then understand how you can do what Steve's doing and having a conversation about what you do and how you impact. Life, Steve, to me is about meaning. And meaning is about service. And I believe that the results that show up in your life, Steve, are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. Let me say that again. The results that show up in your life And that's what you're going to be talking about, financially fit. Those results in your life, they're just as important as all the cash and all the money that you're putting into your bank account. And what I love about what you talked about so far, you haven't talked about buying a bigger boat. You haven't talked about getting a bigger home. You haven't talked about just what you could be doing on this type of day that you're doing right now. Tell me how you can serve and how you can help and how you can have more meaning. So if you're out there right now, maybe that's you as you're listening, just go over to speakernation.com. Again, speakernation.com. Follow the instructions. There's an interview process. See if it's a good fit. Go through that process and hear more about it. And now, as you are, I want to talk about financially fit, because I know, Steve, as an entrepreneur, I haven't always been financially fit. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that. I know others have, but not myself, because when I got started, I knew what to do. I'm not going to say I didn't know. I just didn't know how to apply it, right? So my grandma used to always say, spend less than you make, Che-Che. She called me Che-Che, by the way. Spend less than you make, Che-Che, and you'll always have what? Money. Guess what I didn't do? Spend less than I make, right, by the way. And I've tried a lot of gimmicks. I tried a lot of programs. I bought every app there is to buy out there. But I knew there had to be someone out there that just was coming from the heart. They didn't care about getting my money to help me make money, but they just wanted to help me be better and stay financially fit. For those folks that are tuning in, I see now we have Patrick, he's back on watching. When it went down, they're back listening right now. For those folks that are listening, we're going to talk a little about financially fit, what that means, what that looks like. So Steve, if you can, step back, tell about this concept of financially fit. And yes, you can be an entrepreneur and you can be financially fit. You can be a small business owner and you can be financially fit. You can be a thought leader and you can be financially fit. And you also can run a cost capitalism model and you can be financially fit. I'm going to say one last thing because it's kind of like we're at church right now. You can make $1 and a difference at the same time. Is that possible? So do me a favor, look right below the video. Now he's talking about being financially fit. Now, he has to do that. But I want you to look right below the video for those folks who are like, oh my gosh, I can't keep it. No, look right below the video and put make $1 and a difference at the same time. Hashtag financially fit. Make $1 and a difference at the same time. Hashtag financially fit. Stephen, talk about financially fit. Talk about this vision.
In fact, abundance always begins with you. It begins with me. We have to be abundant, with ourselves and our own spouse and families first before we can really be abundant with others. And with financially fit, I have basically 4 goals, but they're pretty broad goals. Goal number 1 is to begin the process, Shay, of changing the way you feel, think, and act about money. Because I've discovered that wealth creation is an inside-out approach. Until we change from within, we can't change from without. In other words, until we change your heart and create a wealth heart, we can't put wealth in your bank account at the inside out. And so changing the way you feel, think, and act about money. Goal number 2 is to
feel, act, and think about money.
Yeah.
Feel, act. So you can make $1 and a difference at the same time. You can change the way you what? Feel, think, and act about money. Okay.
And it begins with a wealth heart. So that's our first objective. Our second objective is to improve cash flow. What I've discovered using the metaphor of fitness is that what your cardiovascular health is to your physical health, cash flow is to your financial health. And we have systems in place to improve the cash flow of our participants immediately. Mm-hmm. If I could show you how to improve your cash flow by 10% in the next 30 days, that would be impactful. But what if I could double your income over the next 12 months?
Double
your income in the next 12 months.
Okay.
Now, I know it's beginning to sound, almost too good. And we always heard, from our parents or grandparents that if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Mm-hmm. Well, my question, to address that is, is your grandfather Warren Buffett? Mm-hmm. Because he's created $100 billion during his lifetime. Cash flow is not a problem for Warren Buffett. So let's get our information from the right source and get it from people who have created wealth. And I truly believe that your heart and mind will be expanded, and once expanded, it'll never return to its original dimensions. And so changing the way you feel, think, and act about money, improving your cash flow. I'm serious about cash flow strategies. If I can't help you there, I can't help you achieve the other two goals. Because goal number 3 is for you to be debt-free in 5 years or less, including paying off your house.
What? Okay. So think about that for a moment. If you could be debt-free in 5 years, including paying off your health, as you're watching right now, what would that even mean to you? I mean, how would you feel? What would you do?
It's
Talk about that, if
life-changing.
you will.
You know, that's the goal that I get the most pushback on. I was speaking to a large radio station in San Francisco, and his response was, "Come on, Steve, really? 5 years?" He asked me, "Do you have any idea what a home costs in Marin County, which is the San Francisco area? Do you have any idea?"
Which is exactly what J.S. Singer said. She said, hashtag show me, Steve. I'm from Kansas City. Like, talk to me. LaShonda said, what? Is that possible?
So
listen carefully. Let's give
So this radio personality, I said, well, I haven't checked since this morning what the average home mortgage was in Marin County. Believe it or not, it was over $2 million, slightly over $2 million average mortgage in Marin County. So I answered his question with a question. I said, Mr. Radio personality, if I can show you how you can become debt-free in 5 years, including paying off your home here in Marin County, if I can show you how you can do that in 5 years, will you give me some free radio time? He said, Steve, you're on. And I said, okay, I'm gonna show you mathematically, and math doesn't lie, how you can accomplish that in 5 years. I was able to, off the air, show him, and he actually kept his end of the bargain and gave me some free radio. Now, never in this conversation, Shay, have I told you that it's easy. Anything worthwhile in life requires effort, and it requires, sometimes it requires coaching and some mentorship. And I'm not talking about, you refinancing your home to buy an expensive coaching program, because that's not the way we operate. But education is what people are lacking. How do you know what you don't know until you know it? And it certainly applies to financial education. And so once I can show you how you can become debt-free in 5 years or less, including paying off your house, the typical reaction, Shay, is, Steve, I want to do it in 4.5 years. I want to step it up and do it in 3.5 years. And yes, you can. It just requires a lot of focused effort. So debt-free in 5 years, but in a spirit of abundance. I don't want you to just laser beam focus on debt elimination. At the same time, I want you to be creating wealth. Because if you get so focused on debt, what is it that we actually attract? That which I feared the most that has come upon me, is I think a verse in the most widely published book in the world. And so while you're eliminating debt, I want to get you started on wealth creation. So within 5 to 10 years, you no longer work for money. You simply serve the best way you can serve. And what I've discovered is that since money is a byproduct of service, most people, when they do what they love, they make more money. They just can't hold it back because it's a byproduct of serving people. And I hear people say, well, Steve, what about that get rich quick? Well, I don't have a problem with getting rich fast or quick, or however you want to articulate it. That is a scarcity mentality. I want you to think abundantly. If you want to become wealthy fast, then serve a lot of people fast. Zuckerberg will become the wealthiest man on the planet because he just serves 1 billion people every day on his Facebook platform. It's as simple as that. I think I've been on Facebook in the last 24 hours, and I'm not his biggest customer. So it's about service. It's about abundance. It's finding new ways and better ways to serve. If we have entrepreneurs, participating, I know we do. I call it the rule of 25. Take an existing product or service, like even Stevens, and improve upon it by 25%.
Whoa.
It's now a new product or service. Innovation may be even revolutionary. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But if you're not the person that likes to create the business, then participate by being one of the financiers of the business, which is called private equity. And getting back to private equity when it comes to wealth creation, because the four goals, again, change the way you feel, think, and act about money, improve your cash flow immediately. Goal number 3, debt-free in 5 years or less, including paying off your house. And then it's wealth creation. And wealth is not earned, wealth is created. Private equity combined with cause capitalism is disruptive in the marketplace.
Ooh, I like that.
It's truly disruptive in a very positive way.
Okay.
You may find some resistance, jealous competitors, and so forth. May want to stop you, but it's unstoppable because it's an idea that the world is ready for right now. It's resonating. I'm anxiously finishing up my book, Cause Capitalism, so I can spread the message on a massive basis. And so these goals are life-changing. And when it comes to abundance and wealth creation, Shay, I want to mention a principle that I shared with Carla earlier today, if they know your companion, Carla. It's what I refer to as 10x wealth.
10x wealth.
10x wealth. The miracle of adding a zero. If you take an asset, for example, of let's say $1,000, let's say you're 30 years old and you start with $1,000. Now, by the way, if you don't have $1,000, then I'm going to show you a strategy where at the end of next weekend you'll have $1,000. So, if anyone's looking for an excuse, they're talking to the wrong wealth coach. Because
Ruben West is out there, by the way. He says Ruben West is watching. We'll talk about Ruben a little later. He wants to let you know he's here now. He's here.
I am a Ruben West fan. I talk about Ruben West and his great character often as one of the greatest voices, not in just the African American community, but on the planet.
Yes,
that's Ruben West, one of the greatest voices, a man of true character and integrity. Indeed. That's a pretty good endorsement for Ruben West. But the 10x wealth, the miracle of adding a zero. You start at age 30 with $1,000, and you add a zero to that $1,000 in 5 years. Now that's a no-brainer, but you're 35 and you now have $10,000. Okay, 5 years later, at age 40, add a zero, it's $100,000. Add another zero at age 50, it's $1 million. Add another zero at age 55, it's $10 million. Add another zero at age 60, that is $100 million. By age 65, you're a billionaire. Welcome to the Billionaires Club. Now, I know that's extraordinary, and we also know that it's simple math. But I'm here to tell you that it's not only possible, but it's practical. But it's not by doing what people have done conventionally and traditionally, by investing that $100 a month into a life insurance policy or a mutual fund. I'm not here to disparage other financial instruments and products. I'm saying that if you want to reach the stars, or reach the moon, then the vehicle must be appropriate to the vision and goal. And private equity is the space shuttle to take you to the moon.
I like that. I like that. Keep going out. I like that. So one of the things we're talking about is being financially fit. You're talking about how you can have the right instrument to get to the moon. Financially Fit is one of your brainchilds, among many brainchilds that you have. For those folks that are out there listening right now, they can head over to financiallyfit.com. I know that's one of the sites, financiallyfit.com. There's a community that they can join in.
Sign up for free.
There's resources out there.
There's great benefits for free.
Absolutely.
So no one, there's not one participant in this forum that has an excuse not to begin the process of changing the way they feel, think, and act about money, and become financially fit for life. Shay, I believe that we have a personal responsibility to become wealthy. I heard all my life. I mean, my dad was a high school bus driver and janitor, and his My grandparents were poor.
Sure.
And I used to hear that money cannot buy happiness.
Mm-hmm.
My response now is, how do you know? Were you once rich and now you're poor and you like poor better? Give me a break. The Steve Down rule of thumb is money is good, more money is better. Just get over it.
Right.
Just get over it. Because money can buy happiness. Because I'm telling you that as we have fed 3 million people so far with Even Stevens, I think it takes money to buy food, and it takes food to feed the hungry. So ask a hungry person whether or not money can buy happiness or not. So I believe it's a stewardship. We have a responsibility. I believe, since I'm capable of becoming a billionaire during my lifetime, that it's a stewardship. And I believe it's a stewardship for all of us to become financially fit for life. Because what I've discovered, Shay, is that when I am, if I'm broke or even worse than broke, let's say bankrupt, my checking account's overdrawn, how can I even be aware of the needs of the widow across the street? If you're in an ant pile, you can't be aware of other people's needs. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading, once again, in the most widely published book in the world, a verse that goes something like this: pure religion, undefiled before God, is to visit the orphan and the widow in their affliction. I see that not as just a desire, but I see that as a responsibility. And you know what I discovered? Is the greatest happiness comes from giving, not from receiving. A wealth heart, the valve that actually that flows out of the heart, the abundance. But what's amazing is that as you give, it comes back.
As you give, it comes back. Oh, I love it.
Give and you shall receive.
For those that are out there, look right below the video. Look right below the video and put the greatest. The greatest comes from giving. What'd you say? You said the greatest.
The greatest satisfaction and happiness comes from giving. But what's amazing, as you continue to give, it's a universal law that I didn't invent. It's not a strategy; it's a principle. I teach principles, Shay, and that's what makes me unique. Is that I call it principle-centered wealth. It's the principles that change people's lives, and they've changed. Strategies change. Congress meets, they talk about taxes, tax laws change, so do tax strategies. But principles always remain the same. And cause capitalism is a principle. That's why I know it works with everyone's business, not just mine. It works for all of us. And it takes basically, there's the gap that people talk about in political forums, and of the haves and the have-nots, and how this gap is widening. Well, cause capitalism is a kinder, gentler, more compassionate form of capitalism that actually reaches down to the other end and pulls them up.
Got it.
And what's unique about Financially Fit is that if you want permanent change, you've got to change the way people feel, think, and act about money. And it begins by creating a wealth heart. And I spent a lifetime discovering for myself how that wealth heart is developed. We all have a heart. The question that I would like to ask our audience is your heart one of abundance, or is it a heart of scarcity? Because scarcity retracts, it suppresses, it shrinks. Whereas abundance, it's ever expanding. And if we can get everyone on this planet to think in terms of abundance, it will illuminate this planet. And our vision with Financially Fit is illuminate the planet.
Illuminate the planet. As we come down the home stretch, I'm going to ask you a question about why a board is important. A board is important. But I'm seeing Gina put down here, greatest satisfaction is in giving. That's the greatest satisfaction. Principle-based wealth, love it. Someone wrote, looks like I'm starting at 10 million since I'm already in my 50s. Hashtag let's go. The way you can let's go over to financiallyfit.com. Again, financiallyfit.com. And when you get there, read it for yourself. Make sure it's a good fit for you. Make sure it's a good fit for what you believe in. There's a way you can join. There's no credit card needed. But just go over to financiallyfit.com. Go on over there and make sure it fits with you. Harry Thomas is watching. Thanks a lot, Harry, for watching out there. one of the things we talked about, that this is kind of what Speaker Nation is about. We bring these type of conversations to business owners, to entrepreneurs, to folks who want to be on the right track. And I appreciate Steve and his time, because we didn't know we were going to do all this. We really didn't. And we appreciate you, the viewer, you, the person that's watching, you, the person that's taking this message, and you paid it forward. You shared it to other folks. You can head over, if you got a message you want to share, go over to speakernation.com. Again, speakernation.com, and follow the instructions. And maybe you have a message, a principle, eat to give, that you want to do. And this is what it's about. It's about message. It's about a story. It's about you being able to communicate. It's about what Steve is doing. And not just Steve, but all the many Steves that are running around. We're here down at the Even Stevens headquarters. But it's also about being financially fit. And you can be financially fit as an entrepreneur. You can be financially fit as a speaker. You can be financially fit as a health coach. You can do this no matter where you are. And what I like about it, it's not here pushing, saying go buy a book and there's a magic pill, but it is a process if you follow the principles. So go over to financially, what is it again?
Financially Fit.
Financiallyfit.com, and follow the instructions. Now read it. Make sure it's a good fit. I'm all in. I've already signed up. I'm all in. And I've done it, right? I've already signed up. But make sure it's a good fit for you, for your family, and pay it. Can they share it with someone else? Can they take financiallyfit.com? He said, of course. So it's okay. It's not a secret website. It's not one of those, this is a secret site. You got to have access to get to it. No. You can get to it. Velton Shaw is watching. Sharon Dixon is watching, by the way. Takesha says, James 3:17, wisdom from above is first pure. We're all God's wealth. You talk about heart wealth. They're feeling you. They're hearing you. For those folks that are out there, the last question I have is, Steve's not doing this alone. It's not even about Steve, not personal Steve. I know it's not about you. I know it's not about you or your family, but it's about the lives that you're changing. It's about not so much creating hope, but giving hope and giving a process and a principle for folks to get there. It's not about having a restaurant, although you have restaurants. It's about when someone eats at the restaurant, they eat to give, because for every sandwich that's purchased, every meal that's purchased at Even Stevens Restaurant, which is just one of your enterprises, you give an equal nutrition meal to someone that needs that meal. It's given to a nonprofit. It's not your nonprofit, right? This is a profit that correct. You go out and you find other nonprofits. It's not one of business owners. They have a nonprofit. Okay. Yeah. I know the IRS can be watching. They got a nonprofit. And they give it to their nonprofit who gives it to someone else. I understand that you've gone to the community and you've had partners.
That's right.
And they have to qualify.
That's right.
And then they get funds from the sandwich that they, not you, right? It has nothing to do with you. That they have their board, and then they can take those funds and go purchase the food they need when they need it.
That's right.
So it's not like the Marriott. I love the Marriott, by the way. I'm a gold member of the Marriott. But it's not like the Marriott gives them all the food left over and say, get us out as fast as you can. Even Stevens gives them the credit, and they go buy it when they need it. Did I hear that correctly?
For every sandwich we serve, they receive a cash credit. We have over 80 nonprofit partners with Even Stevens. They go online, order the food from typically Cisco Foods, and the food is delivered from the Cisco's freezer to the freezer of our nonprofit with free delivery. So it's free every step of the way. Our nonprofit partners love it. We have a great relationship with them. They do a lot of advertising for us. YWCA said on our largest news station here in Salt Lake City that Even Stevens provides all of their food needs, which means other cash donations can be used to meet the other needs of these women and children. It really feels good to do that kind of good in the community. But in the same process, we never apologize for being a for-profit organization, because I have private equity partners that I have a stewardship to give them extraordinary returns on their investment. So everyone wins. That's abundance. When abundance is properly applied, everyone benefits. The rising tide lifts all ships.
Wow, that is so important. Thank you for sharing. Do you mind just taking a minute as we close this? Talk a little about the importance of having a board. I know the nonprofit has its own board. I know Financially Fit has its own board. These folks you're consulting with. Even Stevens has its own board members and folks you consult with. Steve Hotels has its own, I'm sure, board, people you consult with, and then there's the Falls Event Center. I mean, so many different businesses. Step back and talk about the importance of stepping outside yourself. Now, I'm encouraged to go to financiallyfit.com, right? Because Financially Fit has its own board of folks that come through. Steve himself is not there to teach you himself how to become financially fit, although I know you're a wise guy. Talk about the importance of having other perspectives, other individuals that lend their expertise, lend their perspective to make what you have, like you said, 25% better.
Well, it's like the synergy you talked about where 1 + 1 = 11.
Oh, yeah. 1 + 1 = 2,
yes.
but 1 and 1
okay.
= 11. Collaboration.
Equals 11. It's that collaboration. And I have my gifts and talents.
Sure.
But I also know that I'm not good. I'm not gifted at everything. And so it's like the professional basketball team. When it takes a good coach to get that team to sync and whose job it is to pull down the rebounds on the offensive boards and so forth. And so we have a board with each company that lends expertise that fills the gap, and whether it's accounting and sales and marketing, diverse backgrounds, and it's that and that's part of each one of our organizations.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense to you, because one of the philosophies, one of the principles we have is we also tell folks, get yourself a coach that you need to work with you, and that's why Financially Fit is so important, because you get yourself a coach. You guys go look at that site, Financially. Is it working? Just go check, make sure the website even works. Financiallyfit.com. But get yourself a coach, but get your business aboard. So get yourself a coach, Steve, but get your business aboard so that you can have other perspectives, other individuals, other expertise that's coming and helping your business grow. So you're not trying to be the Mr. or Mrs. Everything entrepreneur. You're the person saying, you know what, do what I do best. Ruben West put socially conscious but community driven. Socially conscious but community driven. Ruben's going to be out there, by the way. Kat says, when abundance is properly applied, everyone benefits. A rising tide lifts all boats. Lala Gazelle says she's watching right now and really learning as she is. Look, get yourself a coach, financiallyfit.com. Get yourself something for you. You can be financially fit. Your family can be financially fit. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, get your business aboard. Get your business aboard. And on that board, if you're talking to Steve right now, he says, probably who should be on the board? He probably said, you need a chief marketing officer. Steve, you need a chief branding officer. Everything you see at Even Stevens, I wish Steve could take credit for that, but he talking earlier, he said, I had a branding person, and this is what they did. Get yourself a chief financial officer, right? So someone else that's kind of looking at how the money is being spent. Probably would say, get yourself a sales officer, because you want to be able to generate revenue. Steve, we like to believe, get yourself a coach, but get your business aboard. If you're out there right now, look right below the video, and just write these words: get yourself a coach, but get your business aboard. And put hashtag financially fit, because we want to be financially fit across the board, right? And go over to financiallyfit.com. Make sure you check in over there, read those instructions. And for those folks out there saying, you know what, I need a board. I don't even have a board. I have friends, and I have people I talk to, but I really don't have a board. Here's what you can do. Just go over to boardroominterview.com. Again, boardroominterview.com. Again, boardroominterview.com. And you can learn how you get yourself a board for the business. And that's important. Steve, I want to give you some closing remarks. To the entrepreneurs out there saying, cause capitalism. I'm into private equity. I need to get my money right. You're in the finance. If you were them, what would be the 1, 2, 3 that you would recommend to the person right now? It's like, this sounds good. Where do I get started? What should I do? Now I know that's broad, Steve, because there's some folks out there, they're doing very well with their money, and they know it can go a lot higher. And then there's other folks that are out there right now, and they're thinking to themselves, oh boy, I could certainly do. I need to get up and going. And we talked about some folks need to get themselves a coach, and they can do that. And others need to get themselves a board. And for those who need to get themselves a board, you go over to boardroominterview.com. Just follow all the instructions. But I want you to give some comments to the person that's out there if you can.
At age 60, Shay, the advice I would give our listeners is be your authentic self. God never made a mistake in creating you. And each individual has individual gifts and talents. So be your authentic self and go out there and find your calling based on your authentic self. I have found my calling. It's taken me 60 years to find my calling. I don't think it has to take 60 years. So be your authentic self and find your calling, number one. And then surround yourself with the right people. You mentioned Reuben West. These are the kinds of people that I surround myself with. People that have the character and the integrity that lift you up. And so surround yourself with good people. You can choose. We've been told that we must love our neighbor, but I think we can choose our neighbors. Those whom we surround ourselves with, and so in other words, have the right partners and the right team. Associate with people that truly want to, that are abundant in their nature, and then use that as a measurement. Is this abundant or is this scarcity? When you steal, that's the ultimate scarcity thinking. When you give, that's the ultimate abundance. And every principle that I teach, I try to use those as a standard of measurement of any business decision that I make, and in what I teach by example or precept. And so I'd like to encourage our listeners one last time to join the Financially Fit community. And if you need more cash flow, put us to the test. If we can't improve your cash flow in the next 30 days by 10%, then fire us.
Yeah.
If we can't double your income in the next in the next year, then fire us, because it's the abundance we teach, and we believe that we can really impact people's lives. And so for me, that's I started with the idea that I love to inspire hope, and I'm hoping that today that our message, and I appreciate your forum, being able to plug into your influence, Shay. I hope that our message has been one of hope and abundance.
Well, it definitely has been. Thanks a lot. For those folks that are out there, go over to financiallyfit.com, follow the instructions. It's a good place not only to start, but to continue. And at the end of the day, when we all get together again, to be financially fit. That's number one. If you're out there listening, as I mentioned before, you can go to Speaker Nation Interview. If you're out there, you're like, this sounds like me. I need to get my message out there. Head over to speakernationinterview.com and learn how you can get your message out there. And to Reuben West and to Susan Knight, who's going to kill me like, Shay, I didn't have no idea. This is not on the plan. Just understand that Steve agreed. And I asked, and it just happened. It just is what it is. But for all those out there, we thank you. Thank you so much. God bless, and we'll see you later.